I'm
Ladies
Alex,
and gentlemen,
33,
welcome to
and
the
2
most
years ago I
insane
co-founded a
mega
software
ramp in
company with
GTA
my
5
college
history.
roommate Josh.
I'm talking
We've been best
sky-high
friends for
stunts,
12 years.
zero gravity
Last month
jumps,
I discovered
and
he'd been
crashes
systematically
so
stealing
wild,
from our
buckle
business
up
and
because
setting
this
me up to
ride's
take
gonna
the
be
fall.
absolute
This
chaos.
is how I caught him and saved the company. Josh and I met freshman year at UC Berkeley. We were both computer science majors, stayed up late debugging code together, dreamed about starting a tech company someday. After graduation, we both got jobs at different Silicon Valley firms, but we'd meet for beers every few weeks and talk about our startup ideas.
In 2022, we finally did it. We both quit our jobs and founded DataSync, a B2B software platform for inventory management. I handled product development and engineering. Josh handled sales, marketing, and finances. We each put in $50,000 of our own savings and got a $200,000 seed investment from a small venture capital firm. The first year was brutal. 18-hour days, sleeping in the office, living on ramen and coffee. But by month 14, we had 12 paying clients and monthly recurring revenue of $48,000. We weren't profitable yet, but we were growing. We hired 3 employees, 2 engineers, and a sales associate. Josh managed the company bank accounts. He'd been a finance minor in college and had worked in financial analysis at his previous job. I trusted him completely. We were 50-50 partners, equal ownership, equal say in decisions. He showed me monthly financial reports, spreadsheets with revenue, expenses, burn rate. Everything looked normal. Then, in March of this year, our accountant Maria called me. She handled our taxes and quarterly reviews. "Alex, I need to talk to you about some discrepancies in your books." "What kind of discrepancies?" "Your bank statements don't match what Josh has been reporting. According to the statements your bank sent me, you've spent $127,000 more than what's in Josh's reports." My stomach dropped. "That doesn't make sense. Where did the money go?" "That's what I'm trying to figure out. The transactions are labeled as contractor payments and software subscriptions, but the amounts seem high. Do you have records of these contracts?" "Josh handles all the financial stuff. I can ask him." "Alex, I think you should review the bank statements yourself before talking to Josh. Something doesn't add up." I got the statements from the bank that afternoon. Maria was right. Over 18 months, there were dozens of transactions Josh had never mentioned. Payments to contractors I'd never heard of. Software licenses that cost way more than any tools we actually used. A $15,000 marketing campaign I didn't remember approving. I started digging deeper. I called a few of the contractor names listed in the transactions. 2 numbers were disconnected. One person had never heard of our company. Another contractor confirmed he'd done work for us, but he'd only been paid $3,000, not the $8,000 shown in our records. Someone was faking invoices and pocketing the difference. I checked the software subscription charges. We used Salesforce, which cost us $150 per month. But the bank statements showed monthly charges of $1,400 to Salesforce Enterprise Solutions, LLC. I called Salesforce directly. They had no record of a $1,400 monthly charge. Our actual bill was $150. The Salesforce Enterprise Solutions, LLC charges were going to a different account entirely. I felt sick. Josh was stealing from our company. My best friend of 12 years was embezzling money and creating fake expenses to hide it. I didn't confront him immediately. I needed to understand the full scope first. Over the next week, I worked with Maria to document everything. We found $52,000 in fake contractor payments, $38,000 in inflated software charges, $23,000 in fraudulent marketing expenses, $14,000 in questionable office supply purchases. Total, $127,000 over 18 months. The fake vendor names were clever. Salesforce Enterprise Solutions sounded like the real Salesforce. Code Contractors LLC sounded like a legitimate development firm. Josh had created fake companies and been paying them from our business account.
I traced where the money went. Most of the fake vendor accounts had the same routing number. I hired a forensic accountant for $2,500 to trace it. The routing number belonged to an account in Josh's wife's name. My best friend had been stealing from me for a year and a half. I called an attorney. She advised me to gather all evidence before confronting Josh, and to be prepared for him to potentially drain remaining accounts once he knew I was onto him. I moved carefully. I contacted our bank and added myself as the sole authority on the account, requiring my signature for any transaction over $500. I changed all our software passwords that Josh had access to. I made copies of everything: bank statements, fake invoices, the forensic accountant's report. Then I scheduled a meeting, just Josh and me in our office conference room on a Friday afternoon after the employees left. "We need to talk about the finances," I said. Josh looked confused, but not worried. "Sure, what's up? Is Maria concerned about something?" "Maria found $127,000 in expenses that don't match any real work or services." His face changed, just slightly, a tightening around his eyes. "What do you mean?" I slid a folder across the table. "I mean, you've been creating fake vendors and paying them from our business account. The money's been going to an account in Rachel's name." Rachel was his wife. Josh opened the folder. He looked at the bank statements, the traced routing numbers, the forensic report. He was quiet for a long time. "You hired a forensic accountant?" He sounded more offended than caught. "You stole $127,000 from our company." "I didn't steal anything. I borrowed it. I was always going to pay it back." "Borrowed? Josh, you created fake companies and fake invoices. That's fraud." "I needed the money temporarily. Rachel's been having medical issues. The bills were piling up. I was going to replace it once we got our Series A funding. We don't have Series A funding, and even if we did, you can't just take money without telling me. We're 50-50 partners." "You would have said no." "Of course I would have said no. You can't steal from the company." He stood up, defensive now. "I built this company as much as you did. I brought in all our clients. I deserve that money." "Then we should have discussed fair compensation and profit sharing, not you stealing it behind my back." "What are you going to do? Report me? That'll destroy the company. Our investors will pull out. Our clients will leave. You'll lose everything too." He thought he had leverage. He thought I wouldn't risk the company. "I've already talked to an attorney," I said. "You have two options. One, you sign over your shares to me, resign immediately, and we handle this privately. I won't pursue criminal charges. Two, I report the embezzlement to the police and investors, and we both watch the company implode while you face fraud charges." "You can't force me to give up my shares." "I can when you've committed fraud. My attorney says this is criminal embezzlement. The evidence is overwhelming. You'll lose the legal battle and face jail time. Or you can sign the papers, walk away, and avoid prosecution." His hands were shaking. "This is how you treat your best friend? Best friends don't steal $127,000. He stared at me for a long moment. Then, "I need to think about it. You have until Monday morning. After that, I'm filing a police report." That weekend was awful. Josh called me 8 times. I didn't answer. He texted saying I was overreacting, that we could work something out, that he'd pay it back over time. On Sunday night, he sent a long message about our 12-year friendship and how I was throwing it away over money. Monday morning, he showed up at the office with an attorney. He signed the paperwork. He transferred his 50% ownership to me. He resigned as an officer of the company. In exchange, I agreed not to pursue criminal charges and to provide a neutral reference if potential employers called. He cleaned out his desk in silence, didn't say goodbye to the employees, just left. I had to tell the staff something. I kept it vague. Josh is pursuing other opportunities. I'll be taking over his responsibilities. Our 3 employees looked skeptical, but didn't push. The harder conversation was with our investors. I scheduled a call with the VC firm that had given us the $200,000 seed round. We've had a situation with financial mismanagement. My former partner was making unauthorized transactions. I've removed him from the company and I'm implementing new financial controls. The company is stable and growing. They asked pointed questions. How much money was taken? How did I not notice? What prevented this from happening again? I was honest. I showed them the forensic report. I explained the new controls. I'd hired a part-time CFO. implemented dual signature requirements on all transactions over $500, and was working with a new accounting firm that would provide monthly audits. The investors were concerned but didn't pull funding. One partner said, "This happens more often than people think. The fact that you caught it and handled it decisively is actually a positive sign. Just don't let it happen again." Rebuilding trust took months. I was now doing Josh's job plus mine: product development, sales, and financial oversight. I promoted our sales associate to sales manager and hired a marketing consultant. I worked 16-hour days again. But the company survived. Our clients stayed. Our revenue kept growing. By September, we hit $65,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Josh tried contacting me a few times. Once to ask for a reference, I gave the neutral reference we'd agreed to. Once to suggest we grab coffee, I declined. Once to say Rachel was filing for divorce and he'd lost everything, I didn't respond. I heard through mutual friends that he'd told people I'd forced him out over a disagreement about company direction, that I'd stolen his shares, that he'd built the company and I'd betrayed him. The lies bothered me, but I'd made the right choice by keeping it private. If I'd gone public with the embezzlement, it would have destroyed Josh's career and possibly our company. Handling it quietly protected both. Last month, we closed a proper Series A round, $1.2 million from a larger VC firm. The company is now valued at $5 million. We have 23 clients and 8 employees. I own 100% of it. Sometimes I think about the 12 years of friendship, late nights in college, being in each other's weddings, the early days of data sync when we believed we'd build something great together. But then I remember the fake invoices, the money going to an account in Rachel's name, the 18 months of lies. The moment he said I borrowed it like systematic fraud was just a personal loan. Trust, once broken like that, doesn't repair. I learned some expensive lessons. Never give one person complete financial control. Always verify, even with friends. Business partnerships need the same checks and balances as any corporate structure. And sometimes the people you trust most are the ones who'll take advantage of that trust. Would I do anything differently? I'd implement financial controls from day one. I'd require dual signatures on everything. I'd do monthly reviews myself, not just trust the reports Josh gave me. But confronting him, forcing him out, and taking full control, I'd do that exactly the same way. The company I built with my best friend is now just mine. That's not how I imagined it would go. But it's better than watching someone steal from something we created and doing nothing about it. DataSync is thriving. I'm proud of what we've built. And I sleep better knowing every dollar in our account is accounted for.